Hey, Patrice, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm sure you've gotten to know Willie a little bit over the years. Just what does it mean to see his number go up into the rafters?
It means a lot. I mean, it's well deserved. It's just the right thing to do. I think it's amazing the impact that he's had. Breaking obviously the color barrier, but also his work with inclusion and diversity in hockey, and pursuing that even for so many years now. He's a huge ambassador, and someone I got to know over the years. That an amazing person to talk to, and again, an amazing honor that's so well deserved. I'm so happy for him.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Dan Roach.
Hey, Patrice, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Just how excited are you to open up the season on Thursday in New Jersey, and how different is it with no preseason games, just jumping right in, and kind of how excited are you about it?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Really excited. I mean, it's been a long time coming. If you look at, since the bubble, it's been a long off season. That being said, it's a bit of a shorter camp, and so it's kind of great actually to be able to get going right away and get on the road and start playing some games. So yeah, a little different with the fact that we haven't had preseason. That being said, I thought the intensity and the energy level in scrimmages were really good, really high. But I mean, you all know that it might take a little adjustment right early on. But that being said, I think we're all kind of feeling good and looking forward to it.
We'll go next to Sofia Jurčević.
Hi, Patrice.
Hi.
I haven't had a chance to ask. I wanted to ask Don, but I didn't get in. But I wanted to ask about the prank that the Bruins played, the captaincy prank with getting Marshy first. You had a mask on, so I couldn't really see your reaction.
I know. Yeah.
But I did ask some of the younger guys that I've been, interviewing all week, and they were duped by it. They were a bit fooled. Just wanted to get your thoughts. And as a follow-up, the fact that management decided to do something like this, does it show the closeness of the room, to have the ability to be able to pull it off and know it will go smoothly and no hard feelings there?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, as I said, I think everyone kind of deserves a letter. There's a lot of leaders on this team, and it's not about that. And I think that's kind of the type of players that we have, the type of character and leadership that we have in the locker room. That prank, I mean, in a way, I was kind of like, I was laughing the whole time. Like I was smiling, but also like I knew, like a couple days earlier, I've been told that I was getting the captaincy, which was obviously a huge honor. But that being said, I was kind of getting ready to say something to the guys. So it was more thinking about that than everything else that was going on. But very funny. I loved it, and obviously Brad was a great actor in the whole thing.
For a split second, when he went up to accept the jersey, did you have a moment where you're like, wait a minute, or did you how long did it take you to figure out this was a joke?
I figured, yeah, I honestly, I kind of knew it was a joke because of, the fact that I spoke to Sweens and had a little conversation with them beforehand. But as I said before, there's a lot of people that deserves it. And, he's definitely one of them. So I wasn't necessarily surprised either if that was the case, if there's if Marshy was getting the captaincy. So I was smiling because at the same time I saw both jerseys. So they kind of, I kind of read into it a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Merci. Thank you.
Merci. Thank you.
Next to Fluto Shinzawa.
Patrice, the D's have been explaining a little bit on the breakout this year that the centers, you guys will be available to them on the reverse, just being one of the options that they have rather than just maybe bumping to a partner. So from your perspective, can you explain just what kind of option you guys are to them, and perhaps how that will help you guys, especially the D's, get up the ice a little bit faster?
Yeah, I think that's what you want. You want a quick transition, and it's about reading where's that first play can happen, like where the pressure is coming from. If it's coming from from behind the net or coming on the other side, then you stay on that strong side and you use the reverse. And if it's on the other side, so it's a little bit of a read on each and every play, but at least knowing that that's another addition to our plays, then we're definitely going to keep that in mind, and it's definitely going to help moving the puck quickly, beat some guys on the forecheck that sometimes teams are pretty aggressive, and if we make those quick, simple plays, it's definitely going to make a big difference.
Go next to Joe Haggerty.
Hey, Bergie, you made reference to this a little bit earlier, maybe, but how much are you viewing as a challenge just the first few weeks to a month of the season with Pasta being out for a little while, with the turnover on D and some of the young guys that you're introducing to the lineup, new parts on the special teams groups to start off with, and especially in a compacted season where every little pocket of games is very important. Like, how challenging is this opening stretch of first few weeks to a month?
Yeah, as you said, I think it's a great challenge for us. I guess the positive out of it is all the guys that are still in the back end, or the new young players. They've been around for a few years now. They know the system. They know us as players, and I feel like that transition might be a little easier for them. But that being said, we all need to kind of get together and find ways to be good right away. There's no question about that. With a shortened season like that, with lots of games, the start's going to be really important, and go from there. So we're definitely aware of that, but we also know that there is going to be some new lines, some new players, and we need to make sure we find some chemistry, lots of communication, and be ready for that, and make sure we stay the course during that time.
Thanks, Bergie.
Of course.
We'll go next to Joey Mack.
Hey, Bergie, getting back to the retired numbers, in general, when you look up at the rafters, what does it mean to you to see all those names, and also knowing that probably in the near future, or one day, some of your former teammates, current teammates, maybe even including yourself, could be up there? What does that mean to you?
Well, I think when I look up, and even from my first couple of years in the organization, it was just making you understand and realize the privilege that you were a part of, with the history and the legends really of the game that have been a part of it. Looking at the names, and but more than that, also having a chance to meet some of those players in person, and get to know them and realize how much it means to them is very special. And I think it kind of gives you a perspective, and it kind of gives you a better understanding of what it means. And it's very special. It should be an honor. And, you should try to fight and work to leave that jersey in a better place. So I think it's awesome. Yeah. As I said, it's a special organization with lots of history. And every time you look up, you can see that.
If I could just follow up, getting back to the captain part of it as well. How does the dynamic maybe change in the room a little bit with Zdeno gone, and now you in that spot? Because we've known you more of as a leader by example kind of thing. So how does that dynamic change between the coaching staff and the players in the room now that change has been made?
Well, I think obviously as I said, I'm always going to try to better myself and become a better leader, but also I have to stay me and be me. And, I think you want to be a bridge with what the coaching staff is trying to bring and implement with the players, as far as the rules or the system and whatnot, and buy in, and make sure guys are buying in as well. But it's also creating connections and making sure you groom other guys. I really do believe that leaders create leaders, and it's about connecting with them and making them understand that they can also learn and better themselves, and I'm definitely there for that. So yeah, I think I definitely think I lead by example. I also think that I found my voice over the years, actually, and so that's not an issue as well.
Thanks, Brady.
Yeah.
We'll go next to Kevin Dupont.
Bergie, a couple of questions. First, on related to the captaincy. I know how meticulous you are about preparing. I would guess that you've got something in your head that you're going to say before you go out on the ice on Thursday night for the first time with the C. Can you share any of that?
I think I've been preparing for, even during training camp. I think it's not something you start on game one. It's something you're trying to prepare even before that, and have conversations with guys, and yeah, there's always something you want to think about and prepare, but also I think you have to speak from the heart as well. And that's something that I don't want to get away from. Is I don't want to force things. I want to make sure everything comes from within and makes sense to me, and make sure it's the right thing to do. So I'm always going to try to trust my instincts with that.
And in relation to Willie, I know I've asked you some of this before, so bear with me, but being a young kid in Quebec City, growing up, playing youth hockey, all of that, I'm going to guess it was a while before you saw a player of color. I'm wondering if you remember that. And then just in the bigger picture, what is it going to take here to get more players of color, like Willie, involved and get them a profile?
Yeah, I mean, to go back on the first part of the question, to be honest, it didn't take long, because I have one of my best friends is Black and has been playing with us since since I can really remember. So it's not something that I'm that wasn't used to or
Okay.
whatever. And I think it's about as Willie has been doing, working with making sure the inclusion and the diversity and going into those communities and inner cities and introducing them to hockey, but also finding ways to create leagues and it also there's a lot of stuff I think that is important to make sure that we have a saying of hockey is for everyone. We have to make sure that it's we stay true to that, and I think it's by keep working, keep introducing that great sport to a lot of people, and obviously people of color and people of any races or religion or anything that's for that matter. So it's really about introducing that and making sure it's safe and a place that people can really grow in that sport.
Can you tell us your pal's name and where he went with his playing career?
He played junior. Vincent Zaore, Zaore.
Played junior. Okay.
He played junior hockey, yeah.
Thank you, Bergie.
Of course.
Thanks, Dupes. We'll take our final question from Chris Ryan. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Patrice, curious as to how closely you've been following the NBA situation with COVID, and you've talked obviously a lot about your captaincy. How big of a role do you think that's going to play as compared to the on the ice stuff, some of the off the ice COVID type of reminding guys type of a thing, and how are you going to approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen what's been going on in basketball. I've seen it in football as well, if you will, and also I guess a little bit in baseball. So now that we're traveling, it's definitely different than what we experienced, I guess, if you will, in the bubble. And so yeah, it's going to be on us, really, players, to make sure we're we make this thing work and we're cautious and careful and taking doing the right things and to go back on making guys aware. I think there's a lot of protocols that are in place. I think there's been meetings about what we can and cannot do and how we should handle things. So it's just about sending reminders to guys and talking to them and making sure that we're doing the right thing and we realize that it's a big difference. If it does happen, it's 2 weeks and it's in a short season like that, it makes a big difference, and it's going to be it's going to hurt you. So I think guys are aware of that. I think guys are smart, and I'm not necessarily overly worried about it, but a few reminders here and there is definitely going to be important.
Yeah, just what's your confidence in the Bruins plan and the NHL plan? Bruce was talking yesterday about kind of separating the goalies and being careful about that, and how this could affect your team if there is an outbreak, and how could it potentially affect standings and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, it is something that we have to be aware of, no question. And I think I feel confident in what the Bruins and the doctors and the league also has come up with as far as protocols and safety and guidelines and all that stuff. We're going to try to obviously stay true to those rules, and that's it. Really, that's really how we can approach it and make sure we wear the mask in the locker room and try to stay as safe as possible.
Thanks, Bergie. Congrats on the captaincy.
Thank you.